Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I have a lot of new subscribers, so I just figured I would introduce myself because I don't always remember to do that. But my name is Tracy. I am married and I have 5 kids. Um, I have a son that's turning 30 this year, which is absolutely mind blowing. And he has his own place, lives on his own. Then I have a daughter's 20. Well, she's turning 22 this month, and she is finishing up her grad year of grad school. I have another daughter who's 20, who is in her second year of college, and then I have a daughter who's 16 and a son who is 14, almost 15. So yeah, and and I have 2 fur babies. So yeah, and we are. My husband is turning 51. I am turning 50. So we're on that cusp of getting kids through college and trying to get our retirement in order. So welcome to all my new subscribers. Um, but we are here doing the closeout for April. So we actually had a good month this month, guys. It wasn't as bad as some of my prior months. Next month, though, or I should say this month, May is going to be a doozy because we've got my husband's birthday, my daughter's birthday, my son's birthday, Mother's Day, and my daughter's college graduation. Did I miss anything? I don't know, but it's a lot. So I'm anticipating that this is May is going to be a little bit of a doozy month. But anyway, let's close out April and see how we did. So we are overspent in groceries as usual. It's my nemesis. Um, they just I just can't seem to get that under wraps. But anyway, what I do is I always have this line item here in the budgeting software that I use called YNAB, and that's what I use to cover any overspending in the month, and hopefully I can save most of it. That's always the goal, but we are going to cover the $408.36 in overspending for groceries. So no, 408. Okay. And then my husband was overspent in gas by $140.01. So I'm just going to use my gas line. My gas line is overfunded, but because he's been doing a lot more of the driving than I have and picking up and schlepping kids than I have. But anyway, 140.01. Yeah, every time we go to pick up the kids from like their sport, 3 kids get in the car. Like it's not. I'm like, oh, and I was like, can you give so and so a ride home? And so naturally we never say no, and so that's just how it goes. um, so anyway, and gas prices are crazy, as everyone knows. All right, so now that our gas and our groceries are all taken care of, I had overspending by $2.19 in my personal category. I don't put any money here or budget any money towards this. I will use gift money sometimes, or in this case, I got a settlement from Facebook. I I don't even remember it being a thing, but I got an email and they said they were going to give you, like, you can get the credit in like a MasterCard, a digital MasterCard. I hate those things. But then when I did it, it allowed me to Zelle the money into my bank account, which is what I did. It took forever to get processed. And it was like, I think it was like 30, here it is, 37, 34. And what I ended up doing is buying books. And so now I have a $2.19 overage, which I'm fine with. So we're just going to cover the $2.19. And then for restaurants and entertainment, we went over by $61.73. Again, not terrible. So we'll just cover that. And we needed to buy Frontline and also Heartgard. Heartgard didn't go over, I guess, for our dogs. And so we're over by $7.94. So we'll cover that. And then doctors' copays. We are over by $170 because my husband had 2 surgeries and he's going to PT twice a week. And so that's $50 a week right there. And some of those bills are still funneling in. So we have to cover the $170. And doctors' copays. And school events, we were over by $16.65. We had to pay for a community college course for my daughter, and she had a bake sale for her class, and she bought something to bring to the bake sale. So $16.65. For school events. And now everything, all the overspending is covered, and we are left with $499.14, which normally I would take this whole thing and put it towards May's savings challenges, but because I know that May is going to be a little bit of an expensive month, what I'm going to do, and I'm kind of going to do this going forward. I don't know if I'll hold money back going forward, but I'm going to be putting $226 towards savings challenges. And this 273 I'm going to leave here and let it roll into May and help maybe offset some stuff, and we'll see how that goes. Because I just know May is going to be an expensive month. But going forward in our budget, I am going to intentionally put 226 here. So if you've been following along, originally when my husband and I were budgeting, $226 was what we had left to put towards savings. And when I started YNAB, I always just kind of tucked it back up into this savings sweep line when I was budgeting out the money. I'm sure you guys have seen me do that. But I decided that I'm literally going to take that now when I'm budgeting that paycheck and put it into this savings challenge line so that I will always have money to do savings challenges, because it was February going into March. I had no money to do savings challenges, and I did not like that. So anyway, so that's one of the changes that we made. I did make another change. I think, yeah, in one of the paychecks, I added another category, but I guess when we get to the paycheck budget, we'll go through that. So for now, I'm going to keep this 273.14 here and let it kind of roll over into May to help offset some of the expenses I'm expecting in May. And then we have the $226 that we'll be working with for savings challenges throughout the month of May. I don't think I'm going to keep the money here going forward. I think this is just going to be for May in particular because I know that it is an expensive month, but we'll see. But I just want to guarantee myself by giving myself 226 every month in the regular budget. So that is a change that'll you'll see going forward. And yeah, so now we are all reconciled. Let's take a look at um, our spending for the month of April. Okay, this is, oh my goodness, look at those numbers. We just want this month, last month. Oh my goodness, why is it so high? Oh, because we put money in our IRAs. Okay. I was like, why is it so high? We didn't pay no college bills. I was like, what's going on? All right. So I like to look at this in groups view. Okay. So in total for the month of April, we spent $23,315.53, but of that $23,315.53 was our savings funds. So we put $17,200 into Roth accounts for both my husband and myself. So we were able to fully fund Roth this year for both of us, which is a good thing. So that was the bulk of the $23,000. So, you know what I'm going to do, because even though we did save that, is there a way, let's see, to take out maybe the savings category so we can see the like real spending? Okay. Much better than 23,000. Okay, so total spending, real spending is $6,115.53. So that would be what we actually spent, not what we invested. You know, not including the in putting money into our Roth IRA. So, yeah, so $6,115.53 total. Of that 6,000 and change, $3,360.84 of that was our monthly fixed bills, and the majority of that being our mortgage. So our mortgage was $2,687.44. And no, we don't sadly pay extra on that. That is what it is because our taxes are ridiculous where we are. And they weren't like that when we bought the house. They were a fraction of that when we bought the house. But they have gone up drastically. So dental, we paid $447.68. And if you watched my prior videos, I can't remember if it was December's payment or January's payment, but one of the payments, they never cashed the check. And I was like, what's going on? And I figured that first I figured eventually they'd cash the check and it would balance out. And then they never cashed the check and it was kept going months to months. And then I thought they're eventually going to send me a bill. I was like saying I owe double, right? And they did, finally. So I paid them double. And I had to put a stop payment on the old check that must have gotten lost somewhere. I don't know. So we paid $447.68 for dental insurance, which is technically double, but we owed it, so it's fine. Our gas and electric bill is $325 a month. We are on the budget plan. We are still technically in their favor. But we do have everything shut off now. So, like, I mean, not everything, but like, we have our heat shut off and we haven't put our air on yet. So, I like to use these months to plan to play catch up, spring and fall, to try to keep it in balance a little bit. So, hopefully, we will be able to at least balance it before we have to turn the air conditioning on. But, anyways, uh, my husband's life insurance policy is $200.01. Cell phones, we pay $138.65. This is for five cell phones. My son is still on a track phone plan, but we will probably be switching him within the next year, I would say, because his plan usually ends, I think, in November or December, because we got his phone for Christmas. And my daughter's graduating, so I'm hoping that we can get her kind of maybe on her either on her own plan or paying us for her plan, um and then put him on our plan too. We'll see. I don't know. I mean, we probably can push it longer, honestly, because it is cheaper to stay on track phone for him. It costs us, I think it's like $30 a month for each of the phone lines that we have through Verizon is our carrier. But so it's definitely cheaper to just pay the annual track phone plan for him. But the service isn't always the greatest, I find, um, for that everywhere. Like where we are, it's fine, but um, in other areas, it's not. And so I always like to move them before they leave for college. We just didn't move him to our plan because it was like up, you get a cheaper rate per line up to 5 lines. And then after five, we can add more after five, but there's no benefit to it after five. So we just left him where he was. So I don't know if we'll switch that now or just wait a little bit because, he's only a freshman in high school. So we have some time before he'll be leaving and we want to have him on the other plan. But I don't know. But anyway, that's for five phones. 138.65. Our water bill, is 121.49, and my life insurance policy, I don't know why it's 98.36. Probably because of the billing cycle. So usually, yeah, April's a short month, so it probably came through on like the 30th instead of the 1st for May, and that's why it's showing up as 98.36. Usually I catch that and I'll just edit the date so that the months coincide and it doesn't make it seem like double. But anyway, internet is 89.58. And yeah, those are our monthly fixed bills. And then if whoops, we come back to here, for our weekly expenses, which is basically gas and groceries that come out of this account. Groceries, so the total anyway was $1,916.04 that came out of this account, and the bulk of that was groceries at $1,398.36. My husband's gas was $404.89. My gas was $101.36. And I'm not sure. We have my husband's work expenses, which was 15 cents. He buys things at sometimes for work and gets reimbursed. Apparently it was 15 cents off, which I'm not worried about. And I'm not sure what this is. Oh, so apparently I forgot to reimburse myself. So both my daughters have Apple Music, and for some reason it comes out of our bank account because they've had Apple accounts for a while, like they've had iPads and stuff like that, and so somehow it's linked to our bank account. Usually I will transfer money from their bank accounts to mine, and I didn't do that this past month, so I'll just have to remember to take double the next month, this month, when I'm reimbursing myself for that from their accounts. But anyway, that's what that $11.98 is. But I will get that back, so I'm not worried about that. And then the final category is sinking funds. And for sinking funds, we spent $838.65. $200 of that was doctor copays. $181.73 of that was restaurants and entertainment. $138.32 of that was Easter. $128.38 of that was car maintenance for my 16-year-old's car, because when we got the car, we bought it from a friend and they kind of messed it up and then went out and bought themselves a new car. So they tried to install a radio and they blew a fuse, and then they just were frustrated and got a new car and then offered their car to us for a really, really good price. And because they said he effed it up. That's what he told my husband. And he goes, "You're the only one I know that would probably be able to fix it anyway." So it was literally a fuse. And my husband fixed it and he told him, "Mike, it's only a fuse." And he's like, "Ah, it's fine. You can still have it." I mean, like, we paid $1,500 and the blue book was like $500. And he's like, "Are you sure?" And he's like, "Yeah." So anyway, we got that car for my daughter, and because we had to fix some things, and so my husband had to buy speakers and fix the radio because he tried to install a radio and messed up fuses and things like that. Anyway, so that was that. And then oil. He bought oil for her car also. So $128.38. Tithe was $125. School events is $60.65. That was the college fee for one of the college courses, and then the bake sale. And clothes was my daughter's prom. So yeah, prom shoes for my daughter for prom. Yard maintenance was $39.56. My husband had to fix the floor in our shed because it was rotting out, so he had to buy some plywood. Heartguard, we had to buy Heartguard for our dogs, $38.01. Frontline was $37.94 for our dogs also. And car repairs, $33.59. This was the oil. No, wait, that can't be the oil because oil came from oil changes. This was a tire sensor that went bad in my car. And then we bought oil because, if you know, my husband is on this oil kick. Guys, I didn't know. But it wasn't just this one time at Costco. Apparently, he's been going to Costco and using money like that he just has in his pocket. Because I've told you, like, people will, he'll do odd jobs for some of the clients in the condo complex that he works at, and they just hand him money. So he's been buying oil all this time. We have a tower of oil in our garage. I'm like, "Stop buying oil." I'm like, "What?" Like, he's fixated on the oil. It's 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 bad. I'm like, "Stop buying oil." So we have a lot of oil, guys. He's like, we should be good for 2 years. I'm like, 2 years of oil changes on 5 cars, mind you, because we like 5, no 4, no 5, yeah, 5 cars, because all 3 of my daughter's cars and then our 2 cars. It's a lot of oil that we have downstairs. Oh, now he went to the store yesterday to get dog food and came back with oil for the tractor. And I'm like, "Are you serious?" And he started laughing. And I'm like, anyway. So we have oil. Don't have to worry about that. House maintenance 3142. Not sure what this is. I don't know what he bought. An anode for the water heater. I don't know. He's always finding things to fix, which I guess is a good thing. I shouldn't complain, but anyway, I don't notice these things, so they would probably just like combust and break and be like thousands of dollars by the time I acknowledge them. So it's probably a good thing. Um. Anyways, prescriptions. This was my vitamin D that I picked up, and personal purchases. I told you I got those books, and so my computer just shut off filming. So we were at my personal purchases. Yeah, I bought those books with the Facebook settlement that I got, and then there was like a overspending of $2.19. So um yeah, so that was our spending, and altogether for the month, it came to $6,115.53. That, of course, does not include our investments into our Roth IRA, but I mean, that's not really spending because we still have the money. So, but, anyways, yeah, that is it for this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share my channel with others, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!